Hey everybody, welcome back to the weekly weed watch. This week what I want to do is we're actually going to cover two weeds, two that can look very similar but are two different species, and one of them has a name that's kind of fun to say, so let's go ahead and check it out. Okay guys, so what we have here today is, again, we have two different weeds. You have Hophornbeam Copperleaf right here, and then the other plants all around it here are prickly Sida. Okay, so from a distance you'd be saying, well, aren't those all the same species? And they do look very similar from a distance. But if we close in and look in a little bit closer at these, there are some differences. So first of all, let's look at the Hophornbeam Copperleaf here. And so with Hophornbeam Copperleaf, again, a weed that has kind of a funny name and a fun name to say, the distinguishing characteristic, at least that distinguishes it from prickly Sida, are the leaf margins. So if you look on the leaf margins there, it's the serrations on it are really fine, sharp serrations. Okay, so you see those really defined, really sharp looking, kind of like a saw blade, serrations all around that leaf margin. Okay, now let's pull up the prickly Sida. Okay, now compare that to a prickly Sida. Now if you look at the prickly Sida, those leaf margins, again, the leaf margins are still serrated, but it's more of a lobed or more of a rounded serration. It's not those sharp and defined serrations that you see with the Hophornbeam Copperleaf. So it's kind of like comparing, like a steak knife is a Hophornbeam Copperleaf with those really sharp serrations, whereas your prickly Sida more has serrations like a butter knife. It's a little more lobed and a little bit more rounded. So that's one way to think about it, okay? And then you can take the two of them here and put them side by side, and those two differences look really distinct, right? Here on the left, you have your Hophornbeam Copperleaf with those sharp serrations, those really defined serrations, and then on the right is going to be your prickly Sida with those more lobed or rounded serrations. So that's the way we can tell these two apart. Both of these weeds, you can see we're in a cornfield here. We're really right on the edge of the cornfield. These are two weeds that do come up kind of late. We're here into the end, the last part of June, and these are some weeds that often come up on the edges, the margins, there are open spaces in our cornfields at the end of the season. Both are kind of known for coming up late in the season, especially Hophornbeam Copperleaf. We can often find this many times right around our field edges or field margins late in the season, because it typically comes up after most of our post applications go on to our corn acres. Neither are huge threats to our acreages, but just kind of some unique weeds that we deal with, and we see them often late in the season again, because they do emerge much later than many of our other summer annuals. So those are our weekly weeds this week. I appreciate you guys tuning in, and we'll see you guys next week.